All right.
I see it.
What's up? Yeah, you can switch back and forth. You can switch back and forth. But if you don't, it'll pick up our voices, so you're watching whoever's talking.
Okay.
Since I'm talking, thank everybody for being here and joining McCrae and with the one and only Hayden Voss from the BBC.
Yeah, you can hear the applause.
Yeah. What's up? What's up? Man, thank you so much. It's been kind of a long, twisted, tangled road to get actually on the air and live, and thank you for your patience, Hayden.
Hey, no worries. I am very stoked to be here. It's going to be a fun time.
Cool. Yeah, right on, man. Right on. Man, we are going to basically just kind of start from the beginning with you. I want to know kind of how you became aware of the TV show Big Brother, then how you became involved in the casting process, and walk us all the way up to that.
Man, dude, my story is actually like crazy, I feel like. So I've always known what Big Brother is. You know, I was never a super fan. I mean, unfortunately, I knew what it was. I'm actually a really, really big fan of Amazing Race, and I watch Survivor on and off, and I don't consistently watch Big Brother. So it's funny that out of all three of them, the Big Brother thing worked out, but it's so cool. Couldn't have asked for anything better. As far as casting, I was actually at work. I was riding my pedicab, so I was just being crazy, being my character on my pedicab, basically, you know, to get more tips. I try and be as energetic, as crazy as possible. And I saw these two guys across the street, and I was like, oh, well, they want to ride. I picked them up, and it was Jesse Tenenbaum, a casting producer for the show. And he said that he tried to get me on the first day of the gig that I was working, and he thought he was never going to see me again because I didn't see him as I was riding by. And so I saw him on Sunday. He tried to get me on Friday. And he just basically asked me if I knew what the show was, if I would be interested, and I was stoked. I was like, "Are you guys serious?" I thought it was a joke. So he gives me his card, his email, and then I'm emailing him, and I went to an interview in Hollywood, and basically just did a couple of interviews, went to finals and all that. You know, I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about as far as that goes, but that's how it went. He just saw me on my daily routine, and he almost missed me. So there was a lot of things that had to happen that were very close for me to get to this point. So that's how it went down. It was cool. Very cool.
As far as like the serendipity involved in this, like how did your ass get from Massachusetts to California? Let's talk about that for starters.
That's another thing, man. I was going to college out here in Massachusetts for hockey. I got recruited to play college hockey in Boston, and so I was doing that for a year, and it just wasn't what I wanted. You know, I love hockey, I loved school, but I just felt like there was something more. I was like, why am I living in Massachusetts when I can just live in California, like anytime I want? So I just moved. I moved, like picked up everything. I took a break from school, not technically dropped out, because I would like to go back, and just kind of moved out by myself, no job, no place to live, and just figured it all out, got my apartment, got a job, eventually started pedicabbing, then got casted for the show, and now I'm here. It's all the things like in a line are just insane, dude.
That really is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, for sure. It was a tremendous amount of luck and I guess happenstance to end you up on the show. So good for you.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. It was insane. I mean, it was a line of events, and they all couldn't have worked out better.
That's great.
They certainly worked out well for you. What about okay? So like, since we got through the casting and everything, you're lined up to go in the house, and you walk through the front door of the Big Brother, and this kind of, we know that feeling, but the people watching don't. So please tell us what that was like for you.
Dude, it is so surreal. I mean, it's absolutely, it's a lot smaller than you think, by the way. It feels like a dollhouse. So you go in, and you're just like, I mean, you realize that it's more like a studio setup than a house. It's kind of, it shows it really well on TV, but you don't really realize what it's like to actually be in there. But it's crazy. I mean, you just see the cameras, and right away, all these people, it's so overwhelming, and it doesn't hit you right away, but then once it does, you're like, holy shit, like, I'm on TV, I'm on Big Brother right now, I'm playing the game, I'm in the house right now. It's absolutely insane. It's really hard to process that at first, because everything just hits you at once. But then once like the first night comes and you're in bed and everything, you're like, oh wow, I'm here, I'm doing this.
Yeah, no, it's surreal because
Yeah.
you feel like you're almost like in the Oval Office or something. You've heard about it forever, and then all of a sudden, this is what it looks like.
Right?
It is kind of a trip for
Yeah,
sure.
it is.
Well,
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
so let's
What
so go ahead.
what was your first like instincts of like every single person? Because like I know going in there, like I'm kind of a quieter person, and
Yeah.
like you get in there and there's all these big personalities and you don't know where you fit in. Like, what was your first game plan with all these people?
That was the thing. It was super overwhelming because especially with like right walking in, there's Joey, Frankie, Pow, Devin, who are all such big characters. I mean, I walked in and Joey was in like a sports bra, like running around half naked. I was like, oh my god. I mean, I didn't even know who to talk to, what to do. Frankie is just like the most extravagant person I've ever met. He's talking to everyone. And I went into the house kind of thinking like I would be one of those like bolder characters, just based on what I perceive as my own personality. And then I'm in there and I find myself almost more one of the quieter ones. And so I was like, wow, this is kind of different than what I expected. And so I tried to just like throw in funny lines here and there because I was like, I don't want to be too crazy. I don't want to be too extravagant and throw myself out there. But I want people to hear my voice and know that I'm here. And so I was, anytime I thought of a joke, I would try and like throw it out there. There are a few misses that day too. I don't know if it shows. There are a few of them. And I was like, it's gonna be hilarious. And I just spurt out this stupid joke, and everyone just looks at me. I'm like, fuck. All right, well, I'll be out of here in a week.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you came in with the first group. So
Yep.
you were a part.
Second group.
Second group.
Yep.
That's right. So by the time you already got in there was 8 house guests.
Yep.
And tell us what you think about. Everybody's always afraid of what twists are going to be thrown at them, that kind of thing. And as far as the 2 HOHs, the Battle of the Block, when you found out that twist was going to go on, tell us how that affected your strategy, for better or for worse.
I was thinking it was going to help me because I knew that I was going to be a strong physical competitor. And with the way it works, people are afraid on the Battle of the Block to put up strong competitors. Because if you're an HOH, you don't want to put up a strong competitor because you want yourself to stay as HOH. So I thought at first, I was like, this could be an advantage for me if people think I'm strong. And that was the big thing for me. I was like, I got to prove that I'm a strong competitor. So that first competition, I was like, I have to hang on long just to show people that, like I could compete. And that was before knowing, but I knew that was my strategy in the first place. I want people to know I'm strong. And then when hearing about the Battle of the Block with the 2 HOHs, I was like, this is probably even better because no one's going to want to put up someone who held on almost as long as Caleb, held on, who could be a physical threat in other competitions. Turns out the season was not very physical whatsoever. There were a lot of mental competitions, a lot of luck competitions. So didn't necessarily help my favor in that way, but I thought at first it was going to help. It kind of did for me, but the whole double HOH Battle of the Block thing kind of threw a wrench in a lot of people's games, I think. Wasn't too good or too bad for me, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
interesting.
Do you think with the Battle of the Block, the way we kind of figured it was that the Battle of the Block was going to help get stronger players to the end of the game because you wouldn't want to put them up so they couldn't leave. And with the bomb squad / detonators, they were able to muster that every week. So let's talk about this. This is one thing that kind of gets made fun of a lot with Devin and inviting all these people to join the bomb squad, but you weren't. You and Nicole and
did you guys get invited?
we got.
We were invited.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But what was the line in the house? Was it personality? Was it just like I know that Devin was drawing a lot of the lines in his own mind. Was that what it was? Were you just drawing on the opposite side of Devin's line, or was there a particular reason that we didn't see on the feeds?
No, the thing is, me and Devin got along right away. So I don't think he didn't include me because he didn't like me. Because we clicked pretty well, and we still do. I mean, we never had any sort of like real beef inside the house. Him initiating me into the bomb squad was like hilariously awkward.
That was awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super funny. Which that is another thing which I don't show. I don't know what they show because I haven't watched the season yet. But I mean, it was super awkward, but. I mean, I laughed about it afterwards. It was just ridiculous. But I think the reason he didn't include me is because he didn't think I was going to be a. I think I got kind of like the whole like David thing cast on me, and with just the style and everything, and so I think he kind of didn't think I would know the game and be like wanting to play the game, because he said that in his little speech to me how he didn't think I was going to be like a competitor in this game. He thought I was just going to kind of like be here for the fun time. And the Bomb Squad, he wanted competitors. He wanted, like, the Bomb Squad was supposed to consist of all people who wanted to be there, wanted to compete, and in his eyes, I think with my style and like goofy personality, he thought, all right, well, this kid's not really here to play. I might like him, but he's not here to play the game, and so that's, I think, why I wasn't included in it. But luckily, I was a replacement.
So yeah, exactly, yeah. So basically, you feel like Devin dismissed you because of like the surfer look, the surfer stereotype. Okay, yeah, I can see that. No, absolutely. And before you went in the house, like the surfer does not do very well.
Oh no, Brother, you know, the surfer is not a good character for Big Brother.
So we talked about how you broke the surfer curse type deal, that kind of stuff. So
I remember. Yeah, my interview with Rachel beforehand, she was like, "Don't get evicted the first week." I'll fucking
it's like I'm trying not to. Oh my god.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Where did you when did you start thinking of like what your plans were gonna be? Did you want to like start getting into alliances? Did you want to start getting into a showmance? Because we are long-haired guys that got into kind of showmances. I want to know what your thoughts are.
Well, apparently the long hair attracts ladies. 2 seasons in a row, the long hair kind of gets a girl.
Yep.
But no, I mean, my game plan was to develop a game plan as it went along. That was like what I told myself the whole time, because every season a different game plan works. So it's like, I was always like trying to like figure out one specific thing. Like Derrick, he had a lot of things really in mind before even going onto the show. Mm-hmm. I didn't, because I was kind of afraid that if I stuck to one specific path, that I would get kind of fucked in one way, because the house is different every year. There's a different group of people, different kind of alliances. So I was kind of nervous about it. So I was just going to try and kind of figure out where I lied and just kind of like make my way into something. As far as like alliances go, I mean, I wanted to be in an alliance, which me, Christine, and Nicole formed like pretty quick on. Which wasn't the ideal thing for me. I really liked them, but I wanted like another guy, and we could never just find that one other guy. We all liked Cody. We thought about Zach at first because he was more mellow the first couple weeks, and then that went out the door. So it was always us three, like almost trying to find someone else to like make it a thing. And then once we never really found anyone and everything kind of just broke off into their own little like factions, that kind of hurt me in Nicole's game, because Christine went to the other side. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah, no, Christine was kind of the linchpin that kept the detonators and the bomb squad in the game. If she'd have flipped, if y'all would have been able to turn her, everything would have gone differently. Now, I say that not as a critique to your game or Nicole's.
Oh yeah, no.
You couldn't have flipped her. Christine was totally just deadlocked blind in that house. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So, but she would have held a lot of power had she capitalized on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I knew, because I knew Christine was in the bomb squad and everything before I was even in the bomb squad. She had told Nicole and I that. So, and once the whole bomb squad thing leaked out. So I knew that, and I knew it would help just being associated with her, but it was all about trying to like actually get her on our side. But obviously that flipped later in the season. So but it's all good.
Well,
with Donnie being on the outs, did you ever think like we need to pick this guy up and we need to start making a run at, or because I understand him being on the outs and him not being a social person, it's like how can you talk game to him,
Yeah. But, see, that was a big thing, because the whole time me and Donnie were good friends. I don't know if it ever showed that on the show. Me and Donnie were really good friends.
Weren't you guys up every morning?
Yeah, he was.
I can't. Yeah.
What was that?
No, nothing. Go on.
Okay, sorry. It like broke up a little bit.
I get laggy.
Me and Donnie were super good friends. And we talked game, but it was very minimal game because Donnie was always worried about who was gonna like basically rat him out. And I always tried to defend him, but I never officially aligned with him just because I knew that everyone else wanted him out. And so I was like, if I really get too close with him, if I try and really align with him, because my whole thing is I was like, I love Nicole, Christine, and Donnie to start with. And so I was like, if this could be a thing, that would be excellent. But Christine was with the other side of the house, therefore Christine didn't like Donnie, so Donnie didn't like Christine. So it was like, I liked all three of them, but Christine and Donnie couldn't sew their relationship, so it just never like worked out. I wish that would have been a 4, because that would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
No, absolutely. I think it would have been fun to have seen where that went. As far as people that you trusted in the house, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that Nicole was the person you trusted the most, okay?
Yep.
How far down that list, since you worked with her at the beginning of the game or tried to, where's Christine on that list of trust? Where was she before your eviction? Not with hindsight.
Well, that's the thing is Christine started off. I mean, at the very beginning of the game, it was Nicole and Christine. I trusted Nicole the most, Christine the second most, and then like Donnie and Cody were just like the other two people that I really trusted, but I was still trying to figure out. But Nicole and Christine were the two people that I originally trusted a lot. Christine was really good friends with both of us and everything. But then just how the whole game kept playing out, Christine just slowly started gravitating away. She would talk to Nicole about how she wasn't sure she trusted me anymore. And I was like, that's weird. I always trusted Christine. Why is she saying these things to Nicole? And it was also really weird. It was like, why would you say these things to Nicole knowing how close me and Nicole are? You know this information is going to get back to me, so why would you say it? So I started to pick up on the thing that she wanted to throw those things in just as little bites for Nicole to pick up on, trying to split us apart, trying to put the house against us, stuff like that. So as soon as she started talking to Nicole about me, without me being around, that's when I started to like gradually lose trust. And then, I mean, by the last almost 2 weeks, I didn't trust Christine at all. I didn't talk any game with her whatsoever.
Okay.
I was very, I wanted to get her out, honestly.
In the beginning, I can't remember exactly at what point of the game, but like I know that you and Nicole were kind of close, and I remember also a lot of chat on the internet about like you and Victoria, like you kind of flirting with her.
Yeah.
Was that kind of like?
It was funny because Victoria is actually she's really fun. Victoria is super entertaining. She's fun to be around. And me and Nicole both had this like agreement that like I would flirt with Victoria and then she would flirt with Cody, so that we each like no one could pin who we really liked. Because in the house, no one knew that we kissed or anything. No one. I mean, people could pin the showmance thing on us because we hung out so much, but we never actually showed like the true like emotion type thing around other people. And so our whole plan was to try and like just throw a little bit of confusion in everyone's eyes, and it kind of did, because some people at times would be like, do you like Nicole or do you like Victoria? And I was like, I don't like anyone. And then with Cody, it was like, Nicole, do you like Hayden or you're always cuddling with Cody? So it was kind of like a mutual, like we agreed like this is good for our game, and it's just it's whatever. We're both pretty not jealous people. It doesn't really matter. So so that was kind of how we went down with it.
Well, I mean, that was very good, very smart. Make it hard to pin the showmance down. I do want to say this, Hayden. You've got some game, brother, but it's like in the house, it's like glacier. It moves very slow, but it works. So good for you. Much props.
Hey, I do a lot of work, man. I was clocking in overtime on Nicole.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were. Hey, and I did like in your jury luxury comp, the old smooch in the backyard. Good for you on that.
Right.
But, that
was a little thing. Sorry, go ahead.
You were trying to rub it in. I know what you're trying to do, and that was awesome.
Absolutely. Hey, I was out of the house, so I can show whatever I wanted to show at that point. No one can evict me anymore.
Hell yeah. Hey, and
speaking of Nicole, I was gonna say, speaking of like Nicole and like you guys having a relationship, showmances in this game notoriously aren't the best.
Yeah.
Do you think that the showmance change your showmance? Would you do it differently?
You know what? I mean, the showmance is so good and so bad in a lot of ways. I talked about this on Nick's website. I did a little interview for him, and the whole showmance thing can be really good some seasons, and it can be really bad some seasons. I mean, take you and Amanda for last season. You guys got so far with a showmance. It actually like really helped you guys, I feel like, because it kind of made you guys like a power in the house. It made you guys make a lot of decisions that controlled the house. As for me, I mean, the showmance didn't necessarily hurt me, I don't think, because the showmance isn't what got me kicked out of the house. It was more my friendship with Donnie than anything, because people wanted Donnie out so bad, and because I was friends with him, it's easy to put us together so they can, get one of us out. As far as the showmance, because it was kind of hidden, a little bit, I don't think and it doesn't really seem like we were necessarily targeted for it. But it is so good for you personally. For anyone out there who doesn't understand what it's like being in the house, to have a showmance, basically just to have someone that you're that close with, like completely keeps your sanity.
Absolutely.
Because without her, I mean, both of us could have like fucking lost our minds. It's someone that you can consistently rely on, consistently like trust in. When you have issues, you can de-stress with that person. So as a personal standpoint, it helps keep your mind sane. And as a game standpoint, it can definitely kind of bring you down in certain circumstances. But if you're able to keep it kind of on the down low, it can get you pretty far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tried to have a showmance, it just didn't work for me. So I'm teasing, baby. I'm teasing.
You had a showmance with Andy.
Yeah.
Andy, that's paid off in dividends. For sure. Hey, since we briefly mentioned that luxury competition, that was pretty fun, tearing up the house. There's not a whole lot of strategy involved there, but just tell about that. It looked like fun as hell.
Man, that was so fun. You can tear apart anything you want. It was unreal. Jacosta had a lot of anger in her. She tore the house apart more than any of us. And so that was kind of funny to see, but it was awesome, especially because the jury has never come back for anything like that. So we all felt super pumped that the producers wanted us back. Ratings must have gone down. All the good guys. That's probably just it. They didn't like anyone left anymore. But it was super cool because in past seasons they've done competitions like that where you tear up the house, but it's with the house guests. So you have to clean it up. But for us, we had nothing to hold back because we don't live there anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's super cool.
And then to be evicted from Big Brother, come back and win $5,000 extra bucks, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I was definitely
Speaking of competition. Speaking of competitions, what would be your favorite competition? What would be, your least favorite competition?
My favorite competition, I love the physical ones. I was kind of not upset, but I was kind of bummed at the lack of physical ones. I feel like, there's always, there's the physical, mental, strategic. There's always a different combination of competitions this year. And as far as when I was in the house, there weren't a lot of physical things, which I was kind of banking on. The mental ones, I was like, I might be decent at them, but the physical is where I could really excel. So my favorite competition was honestly that first one, the very first HOH, hanging onto the log. That was unreal. And then the veto that I won with the horses was really fun because it was so hard. That was ridiculously hard. We had rashes and we were sweating. It was really hot out that day too. It was like
that one looked tough.
Yeah, so that one was super tough. So that was really fun. I like the physical ones. So both of those I'd say are my favorite ones.
Okay.
Cool.
Did they ever drape this white canopy over the backyard for any of your competitions?
You know what? Not while I was there. No.
Okay.
So I missed out on that, but they did put the poles up, and they said that they were going to drape them, but by the time I guess they did them for competitions, I was out of the house. So. Okay.
All right. That makes it about a million degrees warmer.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. My dog is like.
Sugar.
Barky.
Gosh. Sugar.
She doesn't want to be on TV.
Oh, that's great.
Hell yeah.
That's super good.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's. I'm gonna jump. We're jumping around a little bit. And okay, before I jump too much, because I want to get into your mind as a juror in the next couple minutes. But
Sure.
before that, let's get you to the jury and let's talk about the rationale.
Yep.
Okay, I want you to talk to me about the formation of the rationale, where it fell apart, where you were bamboozled, where Nicole was, and then Derrick and Cody's individual roles in that. Please walk us through the entire rationale.
The rationale is an interesting thing to talk about because all right, so the game starts, right, the first day in the house. I really like Cody especially. So I have Nicole and Christine, and I like Cody and Donnie. And I always liked Cody, but people were always like sketched out on whether to trust him or not. But me and him just gradually built a relationship. And like I got close to him, and I started telling him most everything. I started telling him basically everything that I was telling Nicole. So Cody was the one who really like gained my trust. And then I had been close with Derrick, but I was always iffy on him, always. I mean, because from day one I called him. I said he was Enzo, even though he does play more like Dan. But just the way his social game is, and I was like, this dude is like Enzo because he talks to everyone, and he's never going to get nominated because he's so liked. And so I was calling that from day one, but I just gradually, and that's why he won. He's so good at convincing you how good of friends you are. And it was a gradual process. That's why it worked, because it wasn't just like one day me and him are best friends. It was just a gradual, like, couple week long, like, we talk more and more. He hangs out with me more. And then eventually I'm talking to Cody with Derrick. And so I'm like, well, I might as well just talk to them both. And I started getting like this it was me, Cody, and Derrick. That's how it really formed for me, because Nicole was never around for it, like when it was starting to build this relationship. And then they always talked about how much they liked Nicole, and obviously, like, I like Nicole. And so they were like, we would like to make this a 4-person thing, like, let's have Nicole in it too. And obviously, for me to hear that, I'm stoked on it. I'm like, perfect. That's my girl, bring her in too. Why not? And so then, and what I've heard is that they really did want to continue with the rationale, but it wasn't in kind of the house's favor to do it that way. So that's kind of good to hear that they at least wanted to try and make it work. I guess, it doesn't do me any difference, but that was good for my mind, I guess. But that's kind of how it all went down. It was me, Cody, and then it was me, Cody, and Derrick, and then they wanted to bring Nicole in, so I was stoked on it. And that's how we made it, and I really did trust them a lot, and I knew how good Derrick was in the house, so I was like, if I'm working with someone like Derrick who is so liked, then he can help me get along farther as well. So that's how it all went down. I trusted it completely, and then it fell apart. But Cody and Derrick are good. I mean, they completely gained my trust. So.
How did Cody separate himself from Derrick in the house? How did you not know how close they were?
Well, the thing is, I knew they were really close. That's the interesting thing, is I knew they were super close. But I also knew that I was super close with Cody. So I was like, like, he's really close with Derrick.
Sure.
He's really close with me. This is good. If we're all three together, that's perfect. So it's very easy to just think that and not realize what's really going on.
So who do you blame for, obviously, the rationale coming apart and your eviction? Did you blame Cody more than Derrick?
I mean, that's a tough question. I kind of go back and forth on it because they both had a big role in it. Because Cody was the person I talked to the most about my stuff, but Derrick was the person who told me the most about what to be doing. So it's interesting. I don't know who I blame the most. I mean, I truly blame both of them. I mean, not in a bad way, in a good way. I mean, I give them props for doing it.
Certainly.
They got me very good. Whether it was they really wanted to or not, they did get me very good. So I mean, it's hard to say who I put the blame on, but I put the blame on both of them. I mean, to be honest, just because they both had a very big helping hand in it. So.
Okay. Fair enough. And what about as far as like okay, I know you said you were aware that Derrick and Cody were tight.
Yep.
But a lot of people acted just like totally oblivious to this. I mean, was it just because you were so close with Cody, you saw him being friendly with Derrick and just assumed there was a tightness there? Or were they really doing a good job of like playing off of each other.
I mean, they were doing a very good job in the house. I mean, it was not. I mean, Cody didn't hang out with Derrick any more than anyone else in my eyes. So I mean, that's why I guess it seems like it was so oblivious, because honestly, in the house, I don't think anyone saw it. We all knew that Cody was close with Derrick. He was also really close with Zach. He was really close with me. Derrick was just like all over the house, so they kind of played their own separate rules. Like Cody was kind of like really close to several people, and then Derrick was just really liked by everyone. He was always with different people. So they kind of played different roles, and so that's why it made it seem like they weren't just like these two guys working together, because they didn't spend every waking moment together. You kind of would have never, I mean, I never would have expected them to be in this sole two-man till the end thing.
Okay. So that was shocking to you when that came out?
Oh, I mean, it's half shocking because I knew they were close because Cody told me, but it's shocking in the sense that it wasn't shown in the house. Like, they didn't show it to other people. The only reason I know that much is because Cody would tell me. So that's the only way, really.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about you as a jury member, okay?
Yep.
A couple things. Let's do some make-believe stuff here. But let's say Cody wins that final HOH and cut Derrick, and it was Cody and Victoria. Who would you have voted for?
Cody, for sure. 100%.
Cody, for sure. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Not a doubt in my mind. I think the only person who would have voted for Victoria was Caleb. I think that was the only person.
Okay.
I don't know what he said on his interview here, but
well, we interviewed him, and he thought about it for a long time, which surprised me. He ultimately said he probably would have voted Cody because he won more comps.
Okay.
But I mean,
yeah,
you know,
I remember,
but yeah, no, that's.
Yeah, him coming to the round table, he said that if Victoria was in the final two with either one of them, he was voting Victoria. So he was pretty set on that. He was very hurt by Cody and Derrick, and felt betrayed. So I think that was the only person who would have really considered it. And that's his own choice. That's perfectly okay. But I think he was the only person. So.
Okay. As a jury member that's heard the discussion between the group of jury members,
yep.
Was there anything at all that Cody could have said that would have won him the game?
He could have elaborated more on how he made people trust him so much, because he mentioned it, but that was a big part of his game. He was very good at becoming best friends with you, and not that it wasn't genuine, because I think he truly made genuine friendships in there. I mean, me and Cody, I still consider him one of my best friends in the house, just as a friend and everything. That was a huge part of his game. Getting people to come and sit down and talk with him for hours about everything they thought was going on. I mean, there were times where I would stay up literally all night with Cody, like out in the backyard, playing pool or just like lounging around, and we would hash things out, anything that was going on in the house, all night. We would talk for hours, and he did that with not just me. He did that with Amber. He did that with Zach. He did it with everyone, and that was a huge part of his game, just basically being there to talk for a long amount of time. Gaining that really, really good personal friendship. That's something that Derrick didn't really do. Derrick was very nice and he was very likable and he was always around different people, but he wouldn't just sit down with you and talk for hours about everything that's going on in the house. Cody was the one who did all the listening and kind of relayed back to Derrick, and he helped Derrick a lot, as far as going on with the hitman and everything. So if Cody would have elaborated more on how, and he could have called out all of us and be like, remember that conversation? Remember when we stayed up all night? Remember how much work I did to gain your trust? He was very good at gaining people's trust. So he could have elaborated on that.
I like that.
So the jury was pretty clear that they thought that Cody was Derrick's puppet. You still feel that way?
I mean, I feel that way. The way, I don't know what they showed from the jury roundtable, but I still kind of stick by what I said. I don't discredit Cody at all, but I just simply give Derrick more credit. Because I still, even to this point, I haven't watched the show, but from what I've seen, clips, and from what people have told me, Cody did a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but Derrick did more of the thinking. So ultimately, Derrick is the one making the moves. He's not saying Cody is his pawn, but Derrick used Cody to do a lot of the grunt work.
Okay.
Almost.
So basically,
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, basically, it's the head of the snake analogy. Like Cody and Derrick did it together, but you've got to say that Derrick was the head of the snake, which deserved the money. Okay.
Exactly.
Because when you go in, you said that Derrick would give you the best tip on your pedicab, and obviously I know that was you just joking around, but no, I just wanted to find out. But no,
I think he would give me a better tip than Cody, possibly.
I know. No chance. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because I know a couple of winners from Big Brother.
Yeah.
They all act broke. Okay, so they all act broke. So no, Cody's gonna grease those pockets. I promise you. But,
Cody's the man. Honestly, I wish I could have voted for them both. Especially as people, they're both really awesome people. Derrick's hilarious. He's a super chill dude. So it was honestly hard. I mean, it was just when it came down to it, I felt like Derrick did more of the thinking, and he was the one really controlling the game. And from what I've heard, it seems like he was, the mastermind behind a whole lot of things. So I'm happy with my vote, and I'm definitely happy that he won. So
no, for sure.
You're gonna get this question a lot. Like, this is what everyone's gonna ask you probably, and we're just gonna do it for.
He froze.
Yeah, he froze.
He knows how to build. He knows how to build anticipation. Hey,
McCrae said, "I can't wait for this question."
Can't wait. I don't even know what it is. Oh my God!
I have no idea. What's he gonna say? What is the Batman onesie wearing long-haired dude gonna say?
Yes, my brilliant sidekick in his onesie. He may have just had the zipper stuck.
We got
him back. We got him back.
Okay, look at that.
But if he doesn't load up quick, I got something for you. Hey, while we're waiting on him, let's talk about Team America, since we're still talking about a jury member.
Yep.
Okay, if you'd known Derrick was in Team America and had won more money, would that have influenced your vote at all?
No, it still wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, it does. It would have made me consider Cody a lot more, just for the fact that Derrick has already won all this money. But at the end of the day, I was going to vote for who played the best game. I wasn't going to let any sort of money thing, even if they won a $5,000, whoever played the best game, I was going to vote for, and I felt like Derrick played the better game. So.
Okay, sure. So the Team America money, had you known, wouldn't have influenced anything.
Yeah, it wouldn't influence it. McCrae, you're back. I see you.
I am having so many problems. Oh my God. I was gonna ask. What I wanted to ask is like, do you have any regrets? Like, would you have done anything differently if you could go back in time, or would you play it the same?
You know what? I would probably play it like generally the same, with a few. I mean, there's obviously. I mean, I didn't get to the end, so there's definitely things I would change. But as far as my gameplay goes, I mean, I was playing the game I wanted to play. I wanted to lay low. I didn't want to kind of cause any ruffles until the game got further. I was trying to see how long I could lay low for, just so people wouldn't target me, because I knew I had the target on my back as being someone who was, at least decent in competitions, who was smart. But I was trying not to get too heavily involved. I was going by the rule of speak when I feel like I really need to speak, not speak all the time. Unlike, Frankie, he spoke a lot. He did a lot. He talked to a lot of different people, which was good. It got him very far. But that wasn't the game that I was trying to play. I was trying to play a more quiet game. So I guess the thing I would change is I would still play. I would try and play that quiet game, but I would dish out a little more information. Information that I thought was sketchy, I would talk to people about it, because there's information that I got that ultimately got me sent home because I didn't say anything about it. Okay. All it would have taken, like, for me before getting evicted, is just to have a conversation with Zach instead of ignoring him. Be like, hey, listen, man, you're not my target. I don't know what people are telling you, which was really like Derrick and Cody kind of influencing him that way. If me and Zach would have had one simple conversation, everything could have been different. Zach could have stayed, but I could have been with Zach instead of being, kind of worked against each other. So that's
follow-up question.
Yeah. Okay.
If they ask you back for All-Stars, would you change your game or would you go in with the same game?
I can't say that because I don't want people to know.
That's smart answer. Smart answer.
I got one here for you. What's like one lie? What's one lie that you were told in the house? Whether it be from Derrick, Frankie, Cody, Christine, Nicole, whoever. What's one lie in the house that you wished you had not believed?
Let's Let's see. I don't know. One lie that I wish I wouldn't have believed.
Yes.
I mean, anything that Derrick said to get me in the rationale. I mean, it's not like anything like a personal lie, but just, lying about how much he wanted, to go to the end with me and Cody and just all that kind of stuff. That's definitely a lie I wish I didn't believe because it didn't get me to the end. So I guess that, and obviously I never knew anything about him being an undercover cop. That was one of those things where it's like extremely shocking, but it makes like 100% sense because of how good he is with how he played. I mean, he literally was an undercover cop in the house. So I mean, I don't know. There were definitely some things, but nothing too bad.
Okay. Well, good deal. McCrae, what was that question you were going to ask?
I already asked that one.
Okay,
I already asked it. As we're going,
okay.
yeah.
That people have asked about is Victoria's diary room stuff when it blacks out the feeds. Can you kind of elaborate on what happened with that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the one who, she didn't go and talk to me about it, so I don't know firsthand, but I know a little bit from what Zach told me. But basically, she was at that time, she had kind of been she had gotten the vibe that people in the house didn't like her, which wasn't true. There was kind of a thing where some people would make fun of her just for her being Victoria, but she is a very nice person, and I like her a lot. But I guess she went into the diary room and she came out crying, and she was trying to tell people that production had told her that people in the house were talking bad about her. Whether that be her completely making it up or them saying something that tipped her off, making her think, oh man, what does that comment mean?
I mean, they probably asked her about the crow story. Like, tell us about that crow story. And then she was like, everyone's talking about the crow story,
Yeah, that's what we all kind of assumed. We assumed that production had said something that she took the wrong way. She might have taken it and gone, wait, why'd you just ask me that? Does that mean everyone's talking about me? And so she comes out of the diary room and basically tries to use that and say, wow, production just told me you're all talking shit about me, which was, completely, that's not true, and production didn't say that. So it really wasn't that big of a deal, but I guess that's kind of what went down. I hope CBS doesn't, kill me for saying that. I don't think it's too bad.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think you had anything to worry about with that right there.
Either way, it didn't end up being too big of a deal, but I can understand why people would like to know that because that's something that you can't see and understand in the house. So
Sure. No, absolutely. Anytime they cut the feeds, it's always going to be a question mark, especially when something's brought up that the feeds are cut to clearly hide the conversation. And, it's like when you're not supposed to talk about production, that's kind of the way I interpret that is like also not use production as strategy, which kind of Victoria sounds like she may have been trying to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, I'm glad you shared that story because I think that's pretty benign and that's good to know because anytime there's a blackout, there's always rumors.
Yeah,
outside of the house, that's time to dispel all the rumors.
Yeah.
So, Hayden, is there anything else that you need to throw in that you feel like that we've not covered as far as your game goes that you want us to highlight?
I mean that's pretty much it. I didn't make it too far. I made it halfway, so there's not a whole lot that happened with me. But
you played a great game.
Thank you. I
really
did.
You were likable. You worked the diary room, and you will see as you get farther and farther away from this season, the Big Brother a lot of times is not about winning. Okay.
Yeah.
You're out there now. You've got a platform. You can do your thing. It's like you've got fans that love you. I know you've seen the hashtag #HeyCole. So that's obviously huge.
I guess I could give it at least a shout out to all those people. All the HeyCole people on Twitter and Instagram. I am blown away by the amount of support. I mean, I have notifications popping up on my phone nonstop. Just all hashtag #HeyCole. There's accounts made. So you guys who support me and Nicole and me and Nicole together, thank you guys. That's super cool. So
yeah, dude,
that's
cool. Nicole was such a sweetheart, and you were such a likable guy that you've heard this, but kind of like a Jeff and Jordan relationship. People love that kind of thing, and you were both. I mean, you weren't in the house banging and carrying on, acting ridiculous. You just You seem like just a sweet couple, and so it was really easy to root for both. I do want to go. I want to mention the question. One of the questions I asked earlier about who did you trust the most in the house, other than Nicole. That was from at BB Fan Love Life, and her name is Hayden plus Nicole, I think. But I want to give her a shout out. But y'all have a tremendous amount of love and support and fandom out there, and it's all well deserved. It's all well deserved.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
One final question, though.
Yep.
A little bit of your heavy metal voice.
Yeah.
Just give us an on the block, something.
You want to hear it? Okay.
I hated it so much. I wanted to kill you every time you did it, but
Me too.
I was not.
Was it crazy on the microphone, like on the live feeds?
It was like, well, yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
I tried to like. I mean, sometimes I would like pull it down a little bit. I was like, I don't know how like what this shows up on live feed, but yeah, I'll give you guys an on the block heavy metal scream. Just stand back, take your headphones out or something.
Yeah, everyone.
I'm gonna go back. All right. Let's see. On the block.
I'm really good at that.
You guys have inspired me to make a heavy metal song about On the Block.
This has been a special episode of On the Block with Spencer and McCrae.
Metal!
Yeah!
Metal!
That's it.
That's awesome.
That's great.
There we go. That'll be a YouTube clip now, I'm sure.
Yeah, hell yeah, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope so. Well, okay, Hayden, before we get off here, tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram and Twitter, social media. Explain and tell all that.
Absolutely. On Instagram, follow me up. Hopefully, I will be fun to follow. It's at Teenage Child. TEENAGECHILD. Teenage Child. And then Twitter is the same thing, but with an underscore in between. So it's teenage_child. Follow me up, guys. I'll be talking about Big Brother, and I'll be talking about my own personal life that you guys care about, apparently, or something. So that's cool.
Yeah. Are you planning on watching Big Brother next year? Are you going to be involved?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. Because
Yep.
I know you said you're a huge Amazing Race kind of survivor, but now obviously I guess Big Brother pulls the forefront.
I mean, and the thing about that was I didn't watch it, but as soon as I got the opportunity from Jesse, I became addicted to the show. I had like 2 months to prepare basically, and I watched 5.5 seasons in 2 months. So
that is phenomenal.
One, I wanted to be prepared, and also I couldn't stop watching. So I am a huge Big Brother fan now, and so awesome. I'll be as involved as possible. I would love to, kind of get involved next year. I'll be watching from all the next seasons. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
awesome.
You'll be welcome back. You'll be welcome back on this podcast to talk Big Brother anytime you want, brother. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Thank you guys both. This was super fun. You guys are both awesome people.
It's good time. All right, everybody.
You are, man. You are.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more of these Big Brother 16 interviews. Also, follow me at Spencer B. Clausen on Twitter. I'm Spencer BB15 Clausen on Instagram. McCrae, what's your shit?
And at McCrae Olay on Instagram.
All right.
McCrae Olay.
Are you going to set up a fan mail or anything like that, Hayden?
I have an email, so if anyone wants to email me, feel free to email me. It's haydenvossbookings@gmail.com. You guys can email me there, whether it's bookings or just you want to say hi, anything Big Brother related, you can email me there. And I will most likely be setting up a P.O. box soon. I just have not been back to my apartment in Long Beach yet. So once I get back there, I'll set up a little P.O. box. If you guys have anything to send me, I would greatly appreciate it. So. Okay,
and it's Hayden Voss. It's Hayden Voss bookings at gmail.com.
Yep, Hayden Voss bookings at gmail.com.
Right. I will put that in the comments.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching. We've had a bunch of live viewers for this. It's been a lot of fun, and I will be tweeting out and sharing this link so they can be watched in its entirety later. Thanks everybody for joining us. And tomorrow, I think we're gonna have Victoria for sure tomorrow, possibly Donnie. So stay tuned. Yeah.